Good evening, everybody. I am Staff Sergeant J.D. Coach, and this is Captain Rob Kowarnicki. We were with the 105th Pennsylvania Company E Civil War Reenacting Group out of Western Pennsylvania.
Correct.
Yep, and go ahead, Rob.
Okay. My name is Rob Kowarnicki, and I'm the commanding officer of 105th Pennsylvania Company E. I've been doing the reenacting now for about 20 years.
Yeah, I've been doing about 17. So.
And I've held every rank so far up into the rank of major. So it's been quite a career. And now what we're trying to do is get into the 21st century here and get the word out and communicate about our hobby and let people know what it's all about.
Yep, we're here to answer your questions. If you saw us on a couple minutes ago, we had technical difficulties, so that's why we just started over again. But we do have some emails here that were sent to us earlier in the week that we're just going to read and answer right here, so we can just get into the first question. And then feel free to type in the chat if you have a question or something like that, and we'll make sure we answer it. So, all right, Rob, here we go. First one we have is from Jake Brenson. Hello, I've always been interested in the Civil War. How does one go about getting into the hobby?
Okay, well, that's a pretty easy question to answer. What I can tell you to do is, whatever area you're from, sort of look around and see what kind of groups are nearby you. You can find a lot of them on the internet, on Facebook, and you contact them. Because I do recommend that you don't travel too far, because we've had that happen in the past where we've had people that were some hours away and it makes it very difficult. But that's an easy way to get into the hobby. Just find a local group and contact them, and they'll set you up.
And just to let you know, Jake, depending on where you are, let's just say, I'm assuming you live in Western Pennsylvania, contact us.
Yeah.
If you want to contact us, right here on our Facebook, message us here on our Facebook, or you can email us at 105thPA, that's 105thPA at gmail.com, and Captain will be getting a hold of you.
Right.
So it's that easy, but
we could always go through our parent group, which is Bernie's division, and they could find a local group near you. Or if you're in Western Pennsylvania, somewhere around Pittsburgh, Greensburg, give us a buzz.
Yep, just give us, contact us through like one of the avenues I just told you. Next question from Mark Stevenson. Are those real weapons that you use?
Okay, well, I can tell you, they are real weapons. They're replicas, they're real weapons. We don't fire any projectiles out of the weapons. We just fire blanks, just gunpowder. And in fact, here I have my pistol right here. And this is a real pistol. It's just, we don't put any projectiles in there. Just gunpowder and caps makes a heck of a good bang.
Oh, right, right.
But yeah, they are real weapons.
See, let me just, I want to keep going on this, but I saw up here on our Twitter account here, West Main. First of all, we are not, I'm not a veteran. Captain Rob, I don't believe, is a veteran either. We do, and you asked, what do we do? We are Civil War reenactors. We reenact what the actual Civil War soldiers did in the American Civil War. That was a good question, by the way. That came from up there on Twitter.
Okay.
But yeah, I just want to know, there are vets that do this hobby. Right. Okay. So, but like myself, I'm not one. We do have a couple of guys in our unit that are military veterans.
Right.
So, you know, but no, you don't have to be a vet to do this. But getting back to the weapons question was, I get asked all the time. I've been asked when we would do school presentations or other things like that. there's a perception that people think these are toys.
Right.
They're not
They're
toys. And what I always say is these weapons these are real weapons. They can hurt you. They can kill you. We don't shoot real, as Captain Rob says, we don't shoot real ammunition out of it. It's only blanks. So, but yes, I mean, you saw this one, excuse me, Rob, right here. This is just a black powder cap and ball pistol. And he has his sword over here too. If you want to bring that out, as you can see, that's steel. Here, hold that there, Rob. And that is a real blade. So these are real replica weapons that we use. Don't let replica think that they're toys.
Right.
So let me look here. We had a guy ask Jimmy McDowell, what made you guys want to be a Civil War reenactor?
Well, for myself, I've always been interested in history. In fact, at one time I thought about becoming a historian. But this is like actually being an amateur historian. The reason I chose the Civil War, now it's because it's one of the bigger hobbies with the most people, and I've seen some other type of reenacting, and it was interesting, but there wasn't a whole lot of people that were involved. Like sometimes we'll go to these events, these Civil War events, there's thousands of reenactors. You'd think you were actually there. It was the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And but I guess the bottom line is I was always interested in history, military history. When I was a kid, I always read a lot of books about stuff like Napoleon and World War II, and it was just always an interest of mine. And this just seemed to be a natural extension. Yeah,
for me, it was as a kid, I was always interested in the Civil War. It was just something that was drawing me to, that's just really, I don't want to say cool, because, it was a war.
Right.
But it was just always something that drawn me to that. And I got into it, one, because of the interest, two, it was to teach and to educate the public. And just three, I always remember, I want to do what those guys were doing.
Right.
And then when I found out about reenactors, it was, when I turned 18 years old, 17 years old, I found a company, and they basically told me this is how you can do it.
Right.
And that was 17 years ago. And I'm still involved in the hobby. So I've been doing, me and you've been reenacted 5 times longer than the war happened.
Right.
So, but yeah, mainly it was for me is because I enjoy doing it. I wanted to honor the vets. And you can't forget why, this part of history. You don't want to forget it. It's up to people like us. And I always thought it was me, to re-educate. I mean, I know I keep repeating myself, but that's a catalyst right there. Educate the people. So, next question from Phillips Coast. This is from one of our emails. Phillips Charles, I'm sorry. What is the most crazy thing, I think he meant thing you have ever been asked?
Oh. There's been a lot of things like, are those uniforms hot?
Yes.
As we're standing there in 100-degree sun.
No, there's air conditioning in them. Yes.
Sweating like crazy.
This is wool.
Yeah.
Full, heavy, lined. I don't know if you can see it. Wool uniforms.
Or we'll be there cooking dinner, and the people will say, "Are you actually going to eat that food?
Is that real food?
Or is that a prop?"
I have been asked, were you in the war?
Yeah.
I look pretty good for about 185 years old, I think. If I enlisted when I was 14 years old.
Right.
I'm just like, I think I look damn good for 185. Oh my. If you guys are familiar with Gettysburg, where Pickett's Charge happened, how did they fight the war with all the cars driving through there?
Or with all the monuments in the way?
Why isn't there any battle damage on the monuments?
Right.
And this goes back to the last question I answered. And if it comes from a 6-year-old kid, okay. But it comes from adults, Rob. And this is where it comes back to where you want to educate, make sure they know, hey, there was no cars driving through Emmitsburg Road when Pickett's charge was happening, Why isn't there any battle damage on the monuments? Oh, okay. Why? Here's another good one. Why did they only fight battles on national parks?
Yeah.
But I mean, being in this long enough, we always think we've heard it all, but every once in a while we get thrown a new question.
Once again, it's about education.
Yeah, that's why it might.
Remember the one where the young kid asked us if we were Allies or Germans?
Yep.
So that says a lot right there.
Yeah, that's why it comes back to educating. Is if we could do our small little part of, yes, these are silly questions we get asked, but now, the most recent one I was asked, why didn't they just text each other the orders?
Right.
Why didn't they call each other on the telephone? Well, we're just going to stop.
It's amazing.
We're just going to stop there. Yeah. Next question. From Jim Malone. Greetings. I am writing you from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Where do you buy all your gear, and is it really expensive?
Okay, another good question.
Yep.
Well, there's a lot of online stores that you can buy the stuff. If you go to the events, a lot of those same stores will have a mobile store they'll set up at the event, and you can buy all your gear there.
Settlers.
Yeah, they're called settlers. That's what they were called back then. Also, there's places you can go to. In fact, there's one right on Facebook where there's people selling all kinds of used equipment, clothes, weapons, tents, all the gear you would need. So basically, you're always going to find somebody selling something, because when we get new recruits, we'll usually put the word out. Somebody's looking for a jacket or a hat or a weapon, and that's how you can get it. Sometimes you can get some pretty good deals.
Yeah, I mean, you can also, it is going to cost you a few bucks to start.
Right.
Okay. But that's like what the captain here was saying was, look, I mean, they didn't have this stuff when we started.
Right.
It was, you either had to go to shop A, B, C, or D, and that was it, or wait until you went to an event to buy your things. Right. But yeah, I like it nowadays where you can go online, especially those Facebook groups, and you always, just to elaborate, you always find someone selling a coat or a pack or the leathers I'm wearing, a cartridge box, Oh yeah, and don't forget about the consignment racks. There was someone else going, I guess, back to our last silly question. Or have we ever been asked silly questions? There was, when I worked for the park at Gettysburg, we used to tell people there were hydraulic jacks and were lowered during the.
Yeah.
Oh, hello up there on Periscope /Twitter. Just if you're just joining us, we are. I'm Staff Sergeant J.D. Coach. This is Rob Towernicki, Captain Rob Towernicki. We're with the 105th PA Company E Civil War Reenacting Unit. And this is just a live Q&A. Same thing with you as guys on Facebook, if you're just joining us now.
Yeah, don't forget, if you have a question, type it in and we'll see an answer for you.
Next question, Rob, from Jennifer Williams. Hi, do you guys have a civilian contingent?
Oh, yes, we do. We have probably about 8 to 10 civilians right now. A lot of them are women. They're the wives and girlfriends of the soldiers, and they come along and they help out with a lot of things. In fact, our group, we have the women operate a commissary for us. And when we go out into the field at one of these events, they take care of all the cooking, and we have a pretty good setup. I think it costs us $20 a person for the weekend, and you get 5 meals out of the deal.
You get fed very well.
Yeah, you get fed very well.
Very well.
But the good thing about it is usually first thing in the morning, like Saturday and Sunday mornings, is a very busy time for the soldiers. There's all kinds of reports, and you got to fall in for assemblies and roll calls and all that kind of stuff. And they take care of feeding us, and that's a big help. There's other things they can do. They can, just do an impression of just different people that were there at the time, nurses, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people.
So there's a lot of things.
There's a lot of people that do. I mean, just to get into reenacting doesn't mean you have to fight.
Right.
But yeah, you could do civilian impressions. There's guys that do portray General Jackson,
Right.
General Burnside, Grant, Lincoln.
Right.
We actually have a good friend of ours who has done a lot of things with us, Ralph Lincoln, who is the direct descendant of President Lincoln. And he actually goes out and portrays President Lincoln.
And
so
his mother used to come with him when she was
still
living. She would come and do Mary Todd with him.
So there's a lot of things you can do. I mean, it's endless. That's the only way I could describe it is, if you want to portray a civilian, they have civilian accoutrements. Did I say that right? You can get, Southern Belle, anything.
Right.
But to get on, let's touch on something here. Like you said, it's busy Saturday and Sunday morning.
Right.
We could walk you through, and I know we're kind of going off here for a minute. We could walk you through a Saturday morning here. Now, let's set the scene. We pretty much try to do everything the Army, the 19th century U.S. Army did at the time. The way the military camp is set up.
Right.
NCOs have to be in a specific area, placement on camp. The officers are at a specific place on camp. You got to have passes to leave.
Right.
You got to have permission to, come and go. But what is it, 6:30, 7 o'clock when Reveille goes off?
Right. The drums and bugles.
Drums and bugles go off. You have X amount of time to get up. And then your first sarge has got to be, once he hears that next bugle call, hey, we got to fall in.
Right.
Fall in, roll call. And then
roll call, weapon inspection.
I was going to say, it's been a while since I had to do one of those. Weapons inspection, morning reports.
Right.
And they all have to go to the sergeant major of the battalion.
Right.
Then you get dismissed for chow.
Right.
Okay. Then you get so much, I can't remember.
You get about an hour. So then it's morning dress parade.
Morning dress parade and drill. And when it's 96 degrees out, it's, you got to remember, people, we only do this for a weekend. And we still have some of our modern commodities that we could bring with us. And it gets back to where we're educating people again,
right.
Because you have to remember, we're not acclimated to that lifestyle.
Right.
We get to go home in our cars to our air conditioning, and then we have to go back to our lives on Monday morning. We're not marching 30 miles a day in the heat or in the frigid cold. We're not wondering, oh, is tonight going to be my last night alive? Or am I going to be alive tomorrow just from cold, hunger, or am I going to meet my maker in the battle tomorrow or something, So, but we try to keep it as close as we can.
Right.
So that's like right now, if you notice at the beginning of the show, I should have saluted Captain Rob, but, oh, hi, Amber. One of our people just got on.
Oh, okay.
So
here's one. Oh, we read that one already.
Yeah, we read that one already. Yeah. Next question. Alan Scott. Do you have to have any military experience to do this? No.
No, none.
None at all.
We will teach you. In fact, with our group, you have to go through boot camp before we will allow you to participate in the events, because you have to go through a safety course, and we have to be assured enough that you're safe with those weapons and you're not going to do anything stupid.
Weapons training. Yeah,
Right. Weapons training and safety, and everything that goes with it, and
when
just making sure you're ready.
And when the NCOs, especially the first sergeant, is comfortable with you and thinks you're going to be okay and you know what you're doing, then it comes to him.
Right.
And then the captain of the company will actually put you through his own. He will run you through the manual of arms. You'll learn the manual of arms, and you will actually get put through his test to make sure. And once you get his clearance, and you're ready to go. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's people that have been doing this for 20 years. You're going to have mistakes and mess ups.
Right.
That's why everyone's always watching to be safe.
Right.
So.
Okay. Hey, it looks like we've got another question. How old do you have to be to do this? Well, to be a soldier and go out and fight in the battles at the events, you have to be 18 years old. Okay. Anything younger than 18 years old, you have to have a legal guardian with you that has to be sort of like nearby most of the time. Like we have a guy, his son is only like 15 years old, and he dresses up. He does what we call being a file closer, which is he follows behind the lines. File closers really were to keep the cowards from running away. But he follows behind and he stays right with his son. And his son's able to go out there. He actually carries our guide on. He can't carry a weapon or anything. And then what we also do is for the younger boys, excuse me, in order to get them ready, we've been working on having a corps of cadets. And right now we have 3 young guys, and we're training them to, be future reenactors. And the eldest one, I made him the corporal of cadets, and he's responsible to make sure that they know the drill, and we have them out there drilling with wooden rifles and stuff, and boy, they have a heck of a good time. Right. So, because the thing is family oriented, our whole thing is family oriented, so a lot of people, the whole family comes, the kids, the wife. It's a good time.
And for anyone watching, obviously you're here on Facebook. You can go to when this is done, go to our regular Facebook page and go to the About section, and you'll find our website address, just because I don't remember the whole address to tell you. We're working on getting a more shorter address.
Right.
Just wanted to plug that. I didn't touch you.
No,
Okay.
that's fine.
Were you done?
I was done.
Okay. Next question, another email question. Amber Lynn Beeman, hi, my mom's and Ed's. Hi, how you doing? How you doing, Ed? How you doing, Ed?
Amber.
Hope you're all doing well. From Lyle, no last name. You are the 105th PA Company E. Did this company actually see any combat during the war?
Well, I think we did. In fact, excuse me here, I have a list of some of the things that we were involved with. Fair Oaks, Yorktown, Williamsburg, Glendale, Malvern Hill, Bristow Station, Second Bull Run, Chantilly Run, Fredericksburg, Chancellorsville, Gettysburg, Kelly's Ford, Mine Run, Poe River, Spotsylvania, Cold Harbor, Deep Bottom, Polar Spring Church, Sailors Creek, and I'm sure that's just an amended thing. We saw quite a bit of combat. In fact, as I recall, you could probably throw in there the wilderness, and a few other ones on top of that.
Right.
So yeah, we did see a lot of combat. We had, let's see if it says what our casualties actually were. Doesn't really say, but there was quite a few casualties too.
Right.
So yeah, it doesn't really say here, but yeah, we saw quite a bit of combat, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And as you can see, my medal here, this is Kearney's Cross, which was a precursor to the Medal of Honor, and that was awarded to the 105th for gallantry. I forget exactly which battle.
Right.
So yeah, we did see one heck of a lot of combat. So
Gerald just said hello, I think. Is that him?
yeah,
Greetings from the meanest first sergeant. Hello.
Mhm.
And thank you, Ed Schneider. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you, Ed.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sure in the future we're going to be doing more things like this. And
Right.
then just based on what we're asked, we'll show. If you ask to see a rifle and we have one here, we'll
Right.
show you one. You know, we were showing the sword and the captain's sidearm here earlier, but we'll let you guys know when we're going to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Next question from, what is that? Ashley Heckman. Are women allowed to fight as soldiers? That's a good question.
Okay. Well, I can answer that one too.
Well, I guess we can kind of do it both ways, if it was actually during the war or for reenacting as well.
Well, there actually was women that fought during the Civil War. There was ones that they joined the Army, and as unbelievable as it sounds, they had no idea that it was a woman. The one that I recall, they didn't know it was a woman until she got wounded, and they took her to the hospital, and they found out she was a woman.
Well,
And then there was another one, she fought all through the war, and she won the Medal of Honor, and they refused to give it to her because she was a woman, and years later she was awarded that posthumously.
right. And then I do know that during the war, if there was a woman brought in ranks, usually the company knew about it, but they all would keep it a secret and try
Yeah,
to
I heard
keep her
that
hidden.
too.
Yeah.
Or they had what was called a vivandier, and they wore sort of like a hybrid uniform. It was like a soldier's uniform with a heavy blue wool skirt, which would probably have been hot as hell.
Right.
With the wool trousers and all that. And they usually served as sort of like assistants to the company.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them would be like a secretary to the officers. They'd help feed the men. They'd help them when they were wounded and sick and stuff like that. Some of them actually fought. They would go out there with a pistol and they would fight in the ranks. Some of them went on cannon crews. Excuse me. But yeah, there was actually women that fought in the war. Now, as far as reenacting, the general rule is the women can go out and be a soldier in the rank, but it's got to be that it's not too obvious. Like from a short distance, if it's hard to tell if it's a man or a woman, that's fine. They can get away with it. In fact, I have quite a few female friends that do it, and so yeah, it's not impossible. It's just, you know, you can't have, like, you know, a big wavy hairdo or nothing like that. So
Right. Well, Rob, I think that's it. We're about at the end of our time here. Anything else you want to say?
The only thing I can say is get in touch with us. We're filling our ranks. There's going to be another great season coming up. Our yearly meeting's going to be coming up in January.
Oh, my wife's on. Hi, Shan.
Hey, Shan. Okay, so get in touch with us. Our meeting, what's the date of our meeting, Val? January 13th is going to be our meeting, and it's open to new members, people that want to come back, you know, everybody. So get in touch with us, and we'll tell you what to do.
Right, and you could message us here on Facebook. Leave a comment, share something with us, send us a direct message. We'll get back to you. And email us, 105thpa@gmail.com, 105thpa@gmail.com, and then either myself or most likely the captain will be getting in touch with you. And then, like I said earlier, go to the About Us section on our Facebook page, and then you'll see all our contact information there as well, along with our website and all that stuff. So yes, the 105th wants you to preserve the Union. Yes. Okay. But other than that, I think that's it. We're done for the night.
Okay.
So thank you for all who joined. Thank you for the questions that were sent to us. And we should be doing another one of these again in the near future.
Yep.
So
happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving, all that stuff. So.
And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year if we don't talk to you guys before then. So, all right. Have a great night.
Thank you very much.